Hi guys, and yeah, welcome back to another video. It is Sunday, and basically after you'd have probably seen a lot of the other videos just updating you about going towards the MOT. So basically a week has gone by. Obviously it's the next weekend, this is the best time I can film it. Again, just a bit more of an update for you guys. Not a lot going on other than stuff I can show you. So what's basically happened is the white car, as you knew, went in for its MOT. So it went in for its MOT, and that problem I was telling you about, the traction control going off or so, is partly to do with the battery not being charged. So the battery was charged, but the alternator has gone on the white car. They've tested it and it's kicking out about 6.2 volts or something like that. So yeah, not very healthy, and it's not charging the battery at all. So I told the guys, look, I need this done, I need it MOT, but it wasn't staying, the engine wasn't running long enough for them to do the brake test and the emission test, so they were going to fail it. So I told them, well, I'll buy a new battery. I know it's not going to solve it, I know I need another alternator, but I just need the test done. So they got the test done. I bought a new battery for it, and it was still really low, obviously, because I then had to drive it home. I managed to get it done. The tracking was done. I drove it on the way back to Quick Fit and got the Hunter alignment done, as you can see on my Instagram. There's a picture of it on the lift in there. So we got the alignment done because that was the last thing that needed to be done, obviously, and it was massively out on one side. So the guy down there, Keith, really sorted me out and helped me out with that. So I got it home. Luckily it didn't die on me, because that's what I was worried about it next, being stuck in traffic. So yeah, got it home, parked on drive, and I've obviously still got the hire car for a week. So we're going to get Andy back down again. I've ordered a new alternator, and he is going to bring a new auxiliary belt for it. So yeah, so that's where we're at now. Like I say, it is Sunday, and he's coming possibly Wednesday, and then I've got to give the hire car back Saturday. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be it now. It's got to be it, because it's costing me an absolute arm and leg to have this car. In the last few months, it's just cost me an absolute fortune, but it needs to be done. And for all the little time that I was driving it, it felt really nice, felt really responsive. The cup shocks, you can feel a massive difference for them with the H&R springs. Feels nice and firm, and just feels like a go-kart with the steering. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm really pleased that I went down that route. So yeah, that's what's going on with the white car at the minute, the white Clio. And then what I've been doing today, as you can see, I'm a bit grubby, my hair's a bit messy. It's currently 3:30 at the minute now, and I've just finished up. Basically, it was 10 o'clock that I started in here. I had my granddad down. I think I mentioned it in another video. He was coming down with a porta power or something like that, but in the end we ended up using a 20-ton lorry bottle jack that he had, because he was a previous lorry mechanic before he retired. And so yeah, he's been down here helping me out, so thank you very much, Grandad. I didn't want to film it just for his own privacy, so I'm just going to have to show you the after results. So you've seen what it was before. It was pretty bad, and the boot wouldn't shut, the lights wouldn't line up, everything was really bad. So here it is after I've just cleaned it with some fairy liquid, because it was quite grubby inside and it's been a bit dusty, because I never really clean this car ever, pretty much. Yeah, so after about 4 hours with a 20-ton jack and a lot of bracing inside, pulling and tugging in it and hitting it with a sledgehammer and a one of my little club hammers I've got somewhere, I don't know, it's somewhere in here anyway. Yeah, and a sledgehammer and things like that. We finally managed to get it looking like this. So if you can remember, it was actually probably about here. So there was, where that's got a natural curve on it there, that was just flat. But in doing so, as we've pulled it out, it has actually tried to delaminate the floor down here. So I'm going to pick all this seam sealer out and go along here. And then my next step, because you can see there where we've been smacking it with a hammer, I'm trying to get these creases out. That's where they've sort of given way and folded. I am going to get, obviously, that welder and stitch weld a lot of all these parts like this, where it's really bad. And then all under the lights actually delaminated here. And then it's actually started delaminating from the seams here on the bottom of the lock. Because that was the biggest problem. This lock was probably here originally, so you can see how much it's moved and how much we've got round it just by hitting this constantly and moving it out and just adjusting it constantly. But as you can see, we've got the new boot on, got the lock on, lights are in, and this is the final results. So it shuts. I can't lock it because I don't have a key for that. So I'm going to do what I did with last time. I wired up the, well, luckily this has got a motor in it still, so I wired up a solenoid so that it can still lock inside, and I'll use like the rear wiper stalk, because we're going to be deleting that. We're going to be deleting the rear brake, flushing that off, and this needs painting anyway, because it, as you can see, look at the two colours. That's completely orange and that's completely red. And then we've got a little bit of trim here that's flicked up, so I need to address that. But overall, considering how bad it was, it's really come together. The worst part about this, where it is, a lot of the panel gaps, like down there, they're not fantastic. You know, it's quite tight there. And then if you look at the other side, it's a little bit wider here, and then these lines here, this part is countersunk to this piece, and then if you look over here, we're higher here and lower here slightly. But we've been messing about with it, trying to get the hinges, and we've been twisting it and turning it and trying to get it adjusted as much as possible. But the biggest problem was when we were looking through here, I don't know if you can see that, basically on the sill on the bottom of the boot lid, there was actually daylight coming through, like the gaps there, basically where the seals are. There was daylight coming along here, along this piece here, and along sort of that piece there. So we've managed to sort that out, so that's completely flush now, it should be watertight. And then we've just got all the old motors and trim and stuff up there. So yeah, we're going to take that out. If anyone wants a wiper arm, let us know, because I'll probably take that out and give it to someone. Same with that. Probably take that out and do something with it. And yeah, that's about it really. Got to replace my black badges for these chrome ones because I don't like them. Take them off. And that's about it really, guys. Still got the tag from when I bought it from whoever it was down in Devon, I think it was, the company breaking cars. Yeah, and I just can't believe how well we've managed to get it to fit. It is not by any means perfect, but considering how hard it had been hit and how bad a lot of this had been moved out, and that side was in almost 8 inches, it was quite considerate. I had faith in my ability to do it, but I didn't have faith in the car, whether it would actually stretch that far back out again. But luckily enough, like I say, with the help of my granddad, we've actually done so much. You know, he's really helped me out. We have had to use so much, like, what's it called, like initiative, if you like, just coming up with wacky ways of trying to press against, you know, because it wasn't just a case of pressing it out, it was a case of trying to press it out and sort of turn it at the same time, because the lock for the pin was actually, like this pin here, was almost pointing up at the air, like it was. So you see it now, it was here, so it was like that, originally when it first started, so it was pretty bad. But the only worst bits that you can still really see, like I say, this bit's dented in, but that's just double skin, doesn't mean anything. This bit's still a bit bent, but I can pull that back because that's only single skinned, so I can pull that back out. And then, like I say, I've just got to pull these bits out and do something about this rust. And go from there, really, guys. So, yeah, it's coming along. I have saved her, and I'm quite happy with the progress we've made. I need to paint all the boot floor, because I don't know if you can see there, where we've had the 20-ton bottle jack, which is quite a sizable piece of metal. It's quite a big lump. It's unfortunately scratched on my paint. Not a lot I can do about that. It was just one of those I had to sacrifice. We used the brace that was actually for the spare wheel that mounts into the rear seat belt, mounts here, the rear seats. So that's the original mounts that I was using, and then the little legs sit on these two lumps here. And then that gave us a good brace, and then we just used a lot of like wood here, and we actually bolted, well, we had a few bits of metal angle and some, well, these pieces here, like these like bed posts or whatever, 4x4s, and we just wedged those in between the roll cage from end to end, and that actually gave us something to brace against. But the actual strut bar here was taking the majority of the force, but it did want to bend a little bit, so it was just reinforced with that back there, so it couldn't actually go anywhere. But the roll cage is all sound, there's nothing bent there. The mounts have taken a really, you know, that's taken a lot of force down that. You know, it was a 20-ton jack that's pushing on that, and they've not moved one bit. They're scuffed, but other than that, they've actually taken the actual brunt of it. So it's surprising how tough these seatbelt mounts actually are. So yeah, we've done well, and we just have to basically go from there, really. I just need to get a battery charger as well, because the battery in this car's getting quite low, so I want to charge it and put it on charge. Then we need to buy a welder. They're about 100 quid or so, but like I say, the majority of my money at the minute has just gone straight into that white car. It's cost me 3 times the amount I thought it would be, and then this alternator has cost me a ridiculous amount of money for an alternator for that car. But it needs to be done, and you know, this is just a hobby and this is just a project car. It has done me well, and it will be back on the road. You know, it's more content for the channel, more for you guys to see, and hopefully, you know, I'll bring her back bigger and better, make her slightly nicer every time, you know, anything like this happens, and go from there, really, guys. So yeah, just a little update for you guys, and I'm not really doing a lot more else today. I'm having dinner with my family, and enjoy the rest of the weekend, really, now. So yeah, I'm just glad it's all coming together, finally having some luck. So yeah, but yeah, anyway, guys, yeah, so thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry I couldn't actually film it. Like I say, I wanted to respect my granddad's privacy, and he didn't want to be on camera. So we you know what it's like when you're trying to film something and trying to do something. You know, that took us the best part of 4 hours non-stop working on it, so it probably would have taken more like 6 to 7 with the filming, messing about doing that, getting different angles and things like that. So yeah, sorry I couldn't get those, but it just had to be done. But I've shown you the results, you've seen the before and the after, and like I say, if anyone needs any help on anything like this, crash damage, don't contact me, basically. Yeah, contact a body shop, don't contact me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing this to my own car, so it's all a bit of fun. But yeah, anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and if you like the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and leave a comment. I'll get back to you. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.